All right, guys, if you don't know me already, it's Nakul from Wicky. I've run this company for about 4 years, all things sport, content, data, tips, etc., etc. Look, if you're only here for try scorer picks, I'm very transparent, very straightforward. Got a little graphic here that shows our results for the year. If you're watching on Instagram, I think ballpark, I was up about 25% across 3,000 tips last year. And I've done this for many years, been profitable for a long amount of time. And this year, everything has been shit for 8 weeks. Our premium stuff is down about almost 30%. Our free stuff is down around 50%, which is honestly a bit of a joke considering how much I think I know about footy and how much time I put into all of this. But it's only 8 rounds in. Hopefully there's some rain this weekend. Hopefully we get a few middle forward tries. Doesn't take too long to turn it all around the way I like to tip and follow the game. All right, cool. Plan for this week, guys. I've showed you our record, been really transparent about it. That's it in terms of negativity. In terms of our premium stuff as well, we had a hot round in round 2, and that was 6 rounds ago. So I got to own up to the shit results. But honestly, like from what I'm doing, the prices I'm finding, the players I'm finding, I'm usually pretty excited on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and it just hasn't been going our way. Hopefully, we get a couple of big boppers that juicy prices get up this weekend, and we're all very, very happy. I'm going to get into round 9 of the NRL, guys. Plan for today. Quickly run you through Linktree, all the stuff that we cover across. Max 2 minutes on that because I went on a bit too much last week. Very quickly, our late mail article. Look, Young, Sinatra, and Kyle, who I do some of this content stuff with, they made a good point. There's obviously a few other people that do late mail, but no one does deep diving on left, fee, right, attack and defense stuff. So we changed the article from late mail to left, fee, right. So I'm going to very quickly show you what I'm talking about. Then I'll get through the odds comparison tool game by game, go through some of the prices that I like early on, and then a quick look at SuperCoach and Fantasy at the very end. If all you're here for is NRL punting and try scorer tips, then at the very end when I go through SuperCoach and Fantasy, you can switch off. No stress at all. If you're watching this, guys, I'm live on YouTube and on Instagram through Wicky AI. Obviously, if you could follow us, like, subscribe, all that stuff, that'd be super helpful. And if not, you're on our Discord. There's 4,000. We finally cracked 4,000 people on there. We finally hit some sort of a winner on the weekend. We nailed Nanai last try scorer. Premium guys, we got it at 34, and I think everyone else hit it at about 29. So it is nice to have something go our way, but yeah, we need middle forwards. That's what I do. It's the highs are high, the lows are low, and honestly, I haven't felt a low this low. I don't think ever in my sort of punting life, which has been about 10 years. So anyways, let's get to it. It's 6:03. I've babbled on for 3 minutes. As always, guys, what you can see on your screen or for you guys on Instagram, please Google Wiki Linktree. On our Linktree, we've got links to our Discord. We just cracked 4,000 people. Odds comparisons also, you can get the best odds across first anytime try scorers across 6 different bookies and a whole bunch of different resources and content to help you with this round of rugby league, especially with fantasy, SuperCoach, and obviously try scorer content and tips. All right, let's get into it, guys. So as I said, we've stopped doing the late mail. There's just too much to cover. On our Discord, we've got a news channel and a few other things. We do cover a lot of it naturally, but this article is now going to be left, v, right edges. So I've had a quick crack at it today. As the weeks go on, if you guys tell me you want something slightly different, happy to tweak it. But I'll show you a really good example of this. So if you can see my screen at the moment, we've got, this is literally word for word what I've written. So the Dragons have scored 63% of their tries to the right side. No surprises. Benny Hunt has had the most try assists by far in season 2024. The Sharks left has been their dominant edge all season. Everyone's been putting Mulatalo in their multi-SuperCoach players have been putting Mulatalo into their SuperCoach teams. He didn't score a try last week. Big reason for that, I reckon. Trindle, he's got some issues off the field. He's going to be suspended for a few weeks, which means Nicho Hynes is the dominant player on the right side in attack. It meant that he had a season-high score in SuperCoach and Fantasy the week that I don't captain him, which is fucking great. Thank you, Nico. Now, but from a try scorer point of view, it probably means that they're going to see a lot more ball on that right side. That right side, as you can see on our graphic, is Hynes, Nikora, Ramian, and Sione Katoa, who scored a double on the weekend when the Sharks smashed the Raiders 42-0. So that's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm using a combination of the SuperCoach Guns try map, Stats Insider. They do some really cool stats around all things rugby league, using their stuff. And obviously, I watch every single game closely, done so for years. Putting that all together to help you, whether you're trying to make your super coach or fantasy trades or captaincy decisions, or obviously putting together your multis. That's what I'm trying to do over there. So you can see that I've done a breakdown. You can see who's on the right and left. And the way we've done it is like, if you're watching on Instagram, guys, the way we've done it in the article is basically the right side winger for one team versus the left side winger for the other, like literally the matchup. So you can see the first game, the Bunnies v the Panthers. Jacob Gagai is on Alex Johnston's left wing. He scored 2 tries, even though they got smacked last week against the Storm. I reckon, yeah, the Panthers, if it rains, I reckon the Rabbitohs are like one of those like shock wins where you've got a new coach. Obviously, the South's coach just got sacked today. If it rains a lot, I reckon it could be a close affair where the Rabbitohs could get lucky. But yeah, if it doesn't piss down, obviously you'd think the Panthers should win pretty easy. But Jacob Gagai on the left edge where Alex Johnston usually is, scored 2 tries last week. And I reckon he's like a juicy little pickup, juicy little pick for your try score multis, because everyone's going to go all things Penrith. But if you do have like a Penrith 13 plus and a fucking Taruva or whatever, putting that with Jacob Gagai could be really interesting. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that. I reckon this is probably the article that you want to check out this week because it's new and it's super helpful, whether it's SuperCoach, fantasy, or multis and try scorers. But 3113 says, thanks for all your work you put in. Always helpful, mate. I do try to put it all together and I hope you do find it helpful. And I do hope that the luck for our tips turns around because that has been pretty painful. All right, guys. As I said, we've covered off the sort of generic Linktree stuff. We've covered off the new article. There is a bunch of other fantasy and SuperCoach and hunting content, but I won't get into all that now. Let's get into it. 6:07, so 7 minutes in. I'm going to go through game by game. As I always do, guys, I don't make official picks on the podcast, but I start sort of identifying some good prices. As soon as I'm done with the podcast, I lock in picks and I put the article out. With the article, guys, it's what I try to do is basically get all the prices out there on a Wednesday night, and then every morning or sort of every arvo of game day, I try to add in a game day pick and sort of explain why I like everything. But for now, it'll be picks and like a sort of mini write-up for every single game for the Punters preview article. All right, let's get into it. So first things first, we got Rabbitohs v the Panthers. With this game, what's interesting, we got the South's coach is sacked. We've got the Panthers who are pretty much full strength except for Scott Sorensen, but that's okay. They've got Luke Garner. I can hear it pissing down outside. And if it continues to do so, I reckon it's one of those crazy storylines of, it's I don't think it's meant to be, but yeah, it's extreme rain, new coach theory, and South's get like a all-time upset win against the Panthers kind of thing. Because you got to remember, they still have Damien Cook, they've still got Cody Walker, they've still got a decent forward pack. Yeah, fine. Like they've got a rookie fullback, they've got a rookie halves partner, and not the best back line. And Panthers are pretty much stacked. But that's the only way I can see the Rabbitohs competing is the rain. Quick one if you're watching the screen, guys. If you see red highlighting on a player, that just means they haven't played 10 games yet, and it means that our model doesn't price them correctly. So you see when I sort by model value, it loves Gray and Gagai, but that's because it's not understanding that the Rabbitohs are massive outsiders, which our model usually takes into consideration. So I'll just explain that super clearly for you guys. Don't love anything for any time, really. Where are we? So for starters, Luke Garner at 29's on better. If you're able to get try scorer punts on better, yeah, good luck. And that is definitely a good price about Luke Garner. And model value, Luai at 29's is all right. If it is a wet day, you can see him sort of stepping inside a couple times and scoring. Where I'm interested, obviously, is the high price picks. So Davi Moale, absolutely love his running style. He scored a try, I'm pretty sure, for Cook Islands, I think it was, late last year. I might be getting something wrong with the detail, but he's definitely, strong ball runner. He scored a try off the bench. Him and Havili scored in the same game earlier this season as well. Yes, it is the Panthers, but think it's one of the first games he's ever started in the NRL. And he's 81s on Bet365, FTS and LTS. So obviously if it's a little bit of a wet and heavy track, obviously helps the middle forwards as well. What I love with my roughy try scorer picks is all you really need is the team that no one rates to just compete for 20 minutes. That's all you need. So whether it's Damien Cook, whether it's one of the middle forwards like a Cam Murray or Moale, you don't need the Rabbitohs to do well. Everyone always goes, oh, man, he's never going to score. The Panthers are going to smack him. Yeah, fuck, I don't care if it's 50-6. We just need our big boy Moale to crash over first. So that is what I'm going for probably early on in this game. Second up, we've got Raiders v Manly. This should be a really interesting game. Guys, I'm almost definitely not going to look at anytime try scorers as picks with the rain around this this round, unless it's like a really clear play and it's not meant to rain massively in that game. I noticed Ethan Strange is out to 41s on Bet365, which definitely looks like a decent price. Strange, if you haven't seen much of him, he is a rookie. He's like Jack Whiten. He loves running, the ball, and he's actually fucking powerful as well, and he wants that try. It's like Whiten when he's on. It's fucking rare, but when he's on, he's fucking unstoppable. So love all things Ethan Strange. Hudson Young's 29 on Toppy. The thing with Toppy, the prices don't last necessarily for these first try scorer markets, but if you find 29s about Hudson Young, yep, 100%, that is a good price. All things Tapina and Papali. Oh my God, these guys are teasing me. So they're around 67 or 71 for first try. I will tip them in some way or another because I love the guys. I love the Raiders, but geez, no Fogarty, no Raiders. But always love a roughie at juicy odds, especially middle forward for the Raiders, especially if it sticks around that price. Elliot Whitehead is 51s. The worry with Whitehead is he's been injured. There's even talks, I don't think it was like a pre-medical retirement, but I reckon if Hosking had not been injured, I don't know if Whitehead would have come back. So anyways, that will be an interesting one to follow. I'm just going to very quickly make sure. Ah, shit. I'd have my camera off that whole time for Discord. I hope everything else was at least working, or was it not? Fuck. If you're watching on Discord, I hope it was working fine. But anyways, if it wasn't, you can also watch it on YouTube and also Instagram. Anyways, with this Manly and Raiders game, the Raiders is coming off a 40-0 spanking. Manly, what did they do? They Hamole Olakwatu. Oh my God, mind blank. They beat up on Para. So it was a relatively competitive game, but Manly's obviously doing quite well this season. Hard to see them not continuing that. But I reckon we'll definitely find a juicy first try scorer price, especially about the Raiders. Broncos, Roosters. I love this. Look, back in round one, when I thought I knew my rugby league and I got a few things right, which seems like a long, long fucking time away. I read this game as the Roosters look really good on paper. I thought they'd be really competitive this year. Actually, this is getting really hot. This is a bit overblown. Anyways, long story short, the Broncos are back to full strength pretty much. I think they're missing one player who I'm now forgetting. And so are the Roosters. I think both sides might be missing one player at most. This should be a cracking game. It is at Suncorp. I think the interesting one, I wrote it in the side v side article. The left edge for the Broncos has been conceding a lot, and the right edge has Sam Walker and Joey Manu, and you know that they're going to be commanding quite a bit of ball. The pick that stands out straight away is Lindsay Collins at 81s, Bet365, first try scorer. Love that. Love that price. And Luke Keary sort of in the 40s on Top Sport, first try scorer. They're probably the couple that stand out straight away. Bulldogs v the Tigers. Now, I think if you're just a generic NRL fan, you don't punt much, you don't play much fantasy in SuperCoach, no one really gives a shit about this game. But if you're like me and you're obsessed with rugby league and you play fantasy, you play SuperCoach, you play draft, you punt on various things rugby league, you're going to love this game. So both these teams have been shit for the last few years. Let's just go out and say that. The Dogs have been super impressive. Beat up on the Roosters. Should have beaten the Storm. The Storm got a try with 5 minutes to go at Amy Park to seal a win against the Dogs. And then the Dogs had like a pretty convincing win against the Knights into their bye, get a couple of troops back. The Dogs are in prime shape. The Tigers, their actual results haven't been as good, but they did look quite impressive with Lockie Galvin and that boom rookie Samuel Afainu on the left edge, which on commentary they described him as having an Olakawatu on your left edge. I love Fainu, and then Justin Olam was doing well with Lockie Galvin early in the year as well. So that left edge is going to be interesting. And when you talk about left edges, you've got to talk about Billy Kickow. He was leading the Dally M, or like second on the Dally M leaderboard till last week before their bye. Fucking on fire. Fox scored a hat trick in one of these games, I think all in one half as well. So anyway, this game will be really, really good for diehard NRL fans because you get to see two teams honestly been struggling for a little while now, have a genuine attempt at the 2 points here. My boy Stefano, his first try scorer 51's on better. Fucking love Stefano. Score the first try every 30 games. Score the last try about every 15 games. Freakish try scorer. Scored the second try a couple of weeks ago. He's looking good this year. Really impressive stats this year. Aside from that, can't see anything amazing try scorer wise. But I'll definitely lock in a couple of others. Oh, and that Coruscant try. If you were watching last week, who were the Tigers playing? It was the Broncos at Campbelltown, I think. Coruscant scores the third try of the game and like the separation, but then he got the ball back and scored, and they still didn't give him the try. That was weird. But yeah, love Uppy at 34s if that sticks around as well. First try scorer on 365. Titan Storm, another really confusing game to get a read of. So the Titans lost Big Tino, and then they were meant to get smashed every game. They competed really well 2 games in a row. Should have won one of them, lost in the 90th minute. Horrible. Then you think, oh, that's it. Their spirits cooked. They went to New Zealand on Anzac Day and beat them. David Fafita scored 2 tries, one from dummy half and one from like 5 meters out. He's looked fucking unstoppable. It's almost like he's realizing how fucking good he is. He's 24, stepping up as leader for the Titans. That Kieran Foran left edge, again, I wrote about this in the article. Really, really impressive. So the Titans left, definitely the one to look out for. But then with the Storm, they got Grant, Pappenhausen, Munster, and Hughes. Who the fuck's going to doubt them? The game is on the Gold Coast, though, and the Titans are coming off a win against the Wars. So I think it'll be really interesting. Like the Storm, if Nelson Asofa Solomona doesn't play, Kami Kamike is also out. I know Fotueka is also out, but yeah, long story short, I reckon the Titans. Okay, if Nas is out and it's raining, I hope that the Titans keep it close from a fan's point of view. It'll be a much more interesting game than the Storm just winning 40-0. By the way, Xavier Coates is out on the left wing. Wishart's been named there, but Farlongo, their boom rookie, could end up playing there. Cowboys, Dolphins. Now, this hopefully is a game for the middle forwards. The Cowboys are leaking the most tries to middle forwards this year, and Marshall King has just been, he's been great at putting middle forwards over for a couple of seasons now. Maxi Plath, who's been starting at lock, scored 2 tries 2 weeks ago and busted through the middle for like half breaks and stuff again last week. And Mark Nichols is paying 67s on Bet365 to score first. Clear value. Absolutely love that. Aside from that, Felice Kafusi is still paying 51s on BetRight to score the first try. Obviously, if he's named on edge, obviously love that price as well. Knights v Warriors, super tricky game. So Ponga favors the left edge in attack, so therefore a lot of their tries have been scored on the left. Ponga's obviously out for most of the season. David Armstrong, that rookie that replaced him, looked electric at fullback, scored the first try last week. The Warriors have been honestly super disappointing. They've lost against the Dragons and the Titans in their last 2 games, and now they come up against the Knights with no Ponga in Newcastle. The Warriors fucking need this. I tipped them at 21s to win the premiership in the preseason and the minor premiership. I've loaded up again. Crap. Oh, sorry about that. I've loaded up again. They're 26s to win the premiership and 67s to they're 67s to win the minor premiership, which is like obviously they're not even in the top 8 at the moment. So it's a bit of a risky bet. But I love all things Warriors this year. I think just because they've had 2 crap games doesn't mean they're screwed for the season. Kai Pearce-Paul, 34s. He's looked great for the Knights this year. gamble at 41 is another decent play. High odds wise, nothing amazing actually. Yeah, tricky one to call. Last game, Sharks Dragons. So this is super interesting. The Dragons obviously got spanked by the Roosters on Anzac Day. Sharks won 40-0. So on paper, I think I'm pretty sure the Sharks are coming first. Hines leading the Dally M. It looks like a really clean cut result, but local derby, probably after a couple of days of rain and probably played in the rain. The Dragons do have a big forward pack, and they obviously beat the Warriors a couple of weeks ago. I think this is one of those games where like that either team under 6.5 kind of bet might be a fun bet for a little bit of value. One last thing I'll say. Everyone was all up on Mulatalo in the earlier weeks for SuperCoach, for try scorers, for multis, etc. He didn't score last week. Might be because they had all their stats favoring Trindle, the left edge, but Trindle's now gone and Hines is kind of like the lone key half on the right side. Long story short, Sione Katoa on the right scored 2 tries, Mulatalo scored 0. Could be a sign of things to come for future weeks. So be careful. The rain and no Trindle on the left could mean that Mulatalo isn't the lock that you think he is for future weeks for try scorer bets. And there you go. Katoa paying $9.50 on better, clear value if you want to smack a big amount on that first try scorer market. Aside from that, man, this kills me. Tommy Hazelton, for you guys who are part of the Wicky community for the last couple of years, you'll remember I was calling out Tom Hazelton in my article because I loved his running style. This was like early to mid last year when he was a bencher. No one knew who the fuck he was. He was this like bold bench forward for the Sharks. Since then, he's become a freakish try scorer. He scored, I think he's already scored 2 or 3 tries this year, and it's only been 8 games for him. He scored the second try again last week, and yeah, now his odds unfortunately are just way too short. Sele at 81s on BetRight, still sticking around. And I think that's probably it at the moment. Look, I will definitely be having some try scorer picks. I'll be definitely putting out some try scorer picks on the Dragons because I do think this game will be closer than most people think. I think the Sharks just basically like got on a roll against the Raiders. The Raiders didn't have Fogarty, and they're kind of just, unfortunately, they could just never come back. And the Dragons, I think, had a similar thing happen to them the other way, where they had that Moses Sully, HIA, Ison who had to go to center. I think their rotation got rocked a little bit. The occasion as well, Anzac Day. I reckon with a fresh start, I think the Dragons will compete, and I definitely hope they compete early because we'll definitely have a couple of big odds try scorer picks from the Dragons. That's it, guys. So if all you were here for is all things punting, I'm done with that. I'm going to quickly cover SuperCoach and Fantasy. Once again, Google, Wiki, Linktree, all like the podcast that I'm doing now, the Punters preview article picks, our Discord, our odds comparison tool, everything else, and also AFL and NBA odds comparison tool as well for goal scorers and for player props. And for disposal markets as well. All of that stuff is on that. It's all for free. So Google, Wiki, Linktree. If all you were here for is punting, thanks for joining us. I'm going to very quickly go through SuperCoach and Fantasy, and that'll be it for round 9, guys. So enjoy the round if I don't see you, and I'll see you next week. Very quickly for SuperCoach, torture. I think I got up to about 11,000th rank in SuperCoach. It was a good ride. And then I didn't captain Hines last week. I thought I'd trade in Captain Cleary, and I thought it'd be like not a pod move, but I just thought not many people will trade Cleary in, and therefore I'll captain him because I didn't really see like a clear differentiation between Cleary and Hines. What I didn't realize is, oh wait, of course, Trindle's out, Hines dominant half, he'll just get so much more ball. Obviously, we didn't know that they were going to win 40-0 against the Raiders. But anyways, well done to everyone who Captain Hines. Fuck you. Painful. I'm down to 30,000 rank in SuperCoach. In terms of this week, so I've gone Captain Hines in SuperCoach now because he's got the 4 p.m. game against the Dragons. Even if it is raining quite a bit and it is a bit of a heavy track, I think I still have to back him in now with the whole lone playmaker theory. Cleary, I would love to have vice captained him against Souths because I think if the rain does potentially either stay away or if it's not raining too much, he could put on a fucking clinic against the Rabbitohs if they do whatever. He could do really well. And it's kind of annoying because obviously with SuperCoach, there's only one halfback spot. So you kind of have to make a decision. So I'm probably going to go like a real pod move and vice captain or like a David Fafita or something. So that's probably one of the only good things I've done all season. I had David Fafita for his 126 and Garrick for his 145 last week, and I still did shit, which shows how bad it was to not captain Hines. But anyways, I'll probably go like a risky VC, probably like a David Fafita. Hopefully he carves up next to Kieran Foran on the left there. But if like he'll have to get like fucking 200 for me not to stick with Captain Hines, but that's all right. Trades wise, early look at my trades. I've gone Fuller in for Drinkwater. I think it's like with Drinkwater leaking a ton of cash and Fuller making a ton of cash, even if it's just for a week, and it's gonna probably rain for most games this weekend, and the Cowboys are playing like well, actually, they're playing each other now that I think about it. But I just think it's like such an obvious moneymaker. And even if it is only for a week or two, I'm just keen to see how that goes. I realize Armstrong's only played 1 week, so trading him in for Hutchison is a bit stupid, which I'll probably undo. And Baker out for Tapine. Went Tapine. It was either AFB for Neil Blake, Haas, or Tapine. I thought Haas only has 4 weeks. He got 70 odd with a try last week. It's only 4 weeks. I'll try to go to Pine or Fanua Blake because they won't play Origin. Fanua Blake scored like 4 or 5 tries already in 7 or 8 weeks, and I just thought maybe I'll go to Pine thinking their season's screwed. He's going to have to up his workload, but I don't actually love that decision either. So anyways, I've shown you my trades, but I probably have to change things around a little bit because I'm not super happy with that. But anyways, that is my thought process right now. NRL fantasy guys, again, I'm doing dog shit. So I've now gone down to 40,000, which is great. So I actually love NRL fantasy. Like I love SuperCoach as well, but NRL fantasy, I've spent a lot more time on this with the NRL fantasy finance community over the years and stuff. So it really hurts me to see the 40,000 rank, but there's 4 weeks until Origin. So I think if you're someone who plays for overall, which is myself nowadays, you want to try to target getting yourself, like, it sucks being ranked 20, 30, 40, 50,000, but it's not the end of the world, right? You've got these 4 weeks to sort of like creep up in ranks. If you've been listening to the NRL Fantasy Watch preview article and content, there's a lot of really good content out there. If you haven't been stuffing up the basics, if you've been doing your captain every week and setting your team the right way and making sure you got 17 players and getting your cash cows, etc. If you've been doing all the right things, but you're just not ranked very well, all you've got to do is just fix your team and get into a half decent shape for Origin. Because when you go into that 6-7 weeks of Origin, when head-to-head guys give up on their team, or people just get over SuperCoach by that point, a lot of people give up. That's when you can kind of shoot up through the rankings. So as you can see with my trades, I've only made one. Pissed off Carl Flanagan for David Armstrong. I really like Armstrong. He played in the preseason, thought he was electric, really liked the way he runs the ball, and he looked good in first grade as well. Super, super quick player, really fast player. So I need to piss off Tom Chester because he's out for a few weeks, and I need a center. And I might potentially just leave my team as is after that trade, guys, because it's not a great team. There are a lot of fires to put out, but I kind of just want to just have 17 guys play. And just if it does rain in a lot of these games this week, I think we'll know a lot more. Like there probably will be lower scores than usual. We'll probably know a lot more about injuries and Origin and all that kind of stuff next week after one more round of information. So I'd rather not. Oh, holy shit, Galvin got 55 last week. Damn. Okay, cool. I'd rather not sort of rush into 3 trades this week where I'm kind of half-assing it because I've got so many problems. It's not like the 3rd trade instead of 2 is going to help me at all in NRL. Oh, sorry, it will help me, but I've just got so many problems that I'd rather actually save a trade and make a more educated decision next week. So anyways, ranked 30K SuperCoach, 40K NRL Fantasy. Our picks are going at minus 30 to 50%, however you look at it. For how much time and effort I've put into rugby league, obviously not going well, but I'm here, I'm owning up to it. We'll be doing content every single week. And if the content and tips don't work out, got a whole bunch of data tools and a community to either entertain you or inform you. So whatever you're here for, we've got you covered. Google Wiki Linktree. Enjoy the weekend of rugby league. It's probably going to be pissing down all weekend, so you probably don't want to head out of the house. You probably do want to be wearing one of these hoodies as you go. But yeah, enjoy the weekend, guys. I will catch you next week.